behind me, these are the smallest cattle in the world. They are called the Vechur. They are from Kerala and these are fast disappearing because they are dwarf cattle. As you can see, this is a full-grown cow. She is 5 years old, but she looks like a small calf. Her output of milk is only about 1 or 1.5 liters. Naturally, she is not in demand. Therefore, they are going extinct.
There are two sides to the story about India's livestock. On one hand, the cow population in the country has been increasing. But on the other hand, the indigenous cattle or India's native cow population is on the decline. Between 2007 and 2019, India's indigenous cow population decreased by nearly 24 million. India currently has about 40 well-defined native breeds of cows, but even today, we still do not know the breed of 75% of the cows in the country. Most Indian cows are what they call nondescript or of unknown breed. So when Aparna Rajagopal, a lawyer by profession, opened up a gaushala or cow shelter, she decided to keep only cows indigenous to India. Aparna has set up an agriculture farm called Beejom. Within this farm, she has set up the gaushala.
It's a very sad thing, just like plant varieties, just like seed varieties, indigenous animal breeds are also going extinct. The main reason for their extinction is for us today, cow equals dairy. Because cow equals dairy, among these three categories of cattle, that is milch, draught and dwarf, only the milch cattle are preserved because they are in demand. But with draught and dwarf cattle, they are more utilitarian and not, you can't make business out of them. So therefore, nobody is interested in them anymore.
Spread over 10 acres of land, this gaushala is located in Uttar Pradesh's Gautam Budh Nagar, or what we popularly call Noida. It's about half an hour's drive from India's capital New Delhi. The gaushala currently has over 120 cows from 12 different native Indian breeds.
Today in our cattle shed, we have the Gir Sahiwal, Tharparkar, Red Sindhi, Kankarej Rathi, Malnad Gidda, Kangeyam, Vechur, Haryani and the Murrah Bhais.
Aparna decided to follow a unique business model. She decided that she will not sell the milk of these cows but keep it for the calves. Instead, she has created a business from their dung. Aparna calls her enterprise Dung Ho.
This dung is available to us 365 days of the year, 24/7. It is not perishable. The older it gets, the better. And even from an animal point of view, people will feed the animal better and look after it better because it will produce more dung. So if we wanted to actually save the cow, save cattle breeds, be humane and be compassionate and do something for the environment, we couldn't think of a better project than Dung Ho.
Can selling just dung be profitable? Especially when the demand for A2 beta-casein laden milk from indigenous cows is growing every day. But Aparna believes that her model is equally effective. The 120 cows on her farm excrete about 1,300 kgs of dung every day. The dung is not sold raw, but is converted into useful products before being sold to customers.
Dung is something that we use in pujas, havans. It is considered holy. So how can we create a best out of waste project out of dung which will be acceptable and exciting for the public to use?
One of the most interesting products made by Dung Ho are cow dung logs. These dung logs can be used to replace traditional wood or coal for burning.
One of our star products amongst all the Dung Ho products is the Gobar Log. When we made this log, we were really not even sure about its efficacy vis-a-vis wood because we didn't have a study and we were not scientists. But fortunately for us, the students of IIT Delhi, they had a project where they wanted to cremate an unclaimed body using this dung logs and do a study on the combustibility of this log versus wood. And it came out in flying colors.
Students at IIT Delhi have been working on a project to replace wood in crematoriums with these dung logs. Rishabh Rawat, a member of this IIT team, says that the calorific value of these logs is comparable to wood.
The mango tree that is normally being used, its calorific value is close to 5,000 calories per kg. And when we use our dung-based product, its calorific value comes out to be within 100 calories per kg range of it. And how is that possible? Let me tell you. So when we talk about normal cow dung, it contains around 50 to 60% of water. So the first step that we do is we remove all the water from the cow dung. So let's say that the calorific value of normal cow dung, or what you call uple, is around 1500 calories per kg, or let's say around 1200 calories per kg. It practically doubles up when we remove all the water from it. Secondly, we do one additional thing, one very tiny modifications to the cow dung log that makes its calorific value even more. What we do is we do a small hole straight in between the log, which increases the amount of oxygen present around it to burn. That way, its calorific value goes up a notch. And when we tested in our IIT labs, it came very close to like within 100 calories per kg, joule per kg range to the wood that is currently being used.
The number of gaushalas in our country where there are piles and piles of dung lying unused, I think it should become mandatory in every gaushala to have a log machine and produce dung logs for the nearest crematorium. It should virtually become a law, so that dung is used. The other thing it does for us is it creates a parallel economy. We are making money out of this, right? So people take this from us not only for cremations, they take it for bonfires, they take it for barbecues, they take it for havans. It could be anything that they're using these dung logs for. It's dry, it doesn't smell, it's light, it is sun-dried.
Mr. Rawat says burning of cow dung logs emit much less pollutants than burning wood.
Then we burn pure wood and we get around 11 parts per million of dinitrogen oxide. 11 parts per million of dinitrogen oxide within 2 minutes of its burning. And when we burn pure cow dung, we get around 7 parts per million dinitrogen oxide within 2 minutes of burning. When we talk about nitrogen dioxide, cow dung is much better. When we talk about carbon dioxide within 700 seconds of burning, pure wood releases around 200 parts per million carbon dioxide. 200 parts per million carbon dioxide. And when we talk about cow dung, it releases around 120 parts per million of cow dung.
Currently, flower pots, oil lamps, statues of Indian gods and goddesses, and logs are some of the products that are sold under the Dung Ho brand.
As you know, urban people love having gardens, urban gardens, and the nurseries all sell their plants in plastic covers, right? These are pots in 3 sizes. You can see there's 1, 2, and then there's a small pot. There are 3 sizes here. Okay, and so these pots can be used by nurseries to grow seedlings, and once the seedling outgrows the pot, this pot can be planted along with a plant, and this will become khad. So the other reason why this is great is because it keeps away pests naturally while the seedling is growing. So I can't think of a better thing to use in nurseries or those people who are creating saplings. This is a cow dung Ganesha, and this is a Lakshmi Ganesh for Diwali. This is a puja set. It's called the puja box, and it has a tagline that says, "Let us celebrate sustainably." So it is a beautiful box that contains cow dung Lakshmi Ganesh, cow dung diya, cow dung ople, cow dung dhoop, terracotta bowl, a moli to tie, and akshat. And that is rice grown by us, which is indigenous rice. The other star Dung Ho product is the dhoop. This dhoop is really special. It is made with cow dung and havan samagri and neem paste. It's a nice alternative to the regular mosquito repellents that are available. It can also be used just every day to light in your house. I think it's wonderful. It's fragrant and it's really nice, and it's a hot selling box. People love this, and it's gone as far as America.
Dung of indigenous cows are more suited for making these products as they contain more fiber than the exotic or crossbred counterparts.
Purely technically speaking, there is around 60% fiber present in the cow dung of a indigenous cow, whereas when we talk about Jersey cows, the fiber percentage in it is very low.
Aparna says that the idea behind creating these value-added products from dung is to generate resources so that these non-milch indigenous cattle can be preserved in a sustainable way.
So the idea was to shift the narrative from dairy to dung. And this ensured that animals on our farm, we are able to demonstrate that they have a life beyond milk.
Can this model benefit small farmers? Can it generate extra income for them? Aparna believes that dung can add an extra layer of income for small farmers apart from fertilizing their fields.
I love my Dung Ho project because it has so many elements that suggest regeneration and conservation and environment protection. So it's a project that also builds revenue for us. Village economy has to be built in these ways with the vagaries of climate and the kind of inconsistency with crops and everything. One of the greatest things we can do for a farmer is to give him a parallel income. So I see that this is a wonderful project to build village economy.